What's going on? Welcome back to my channel. Listen, man, you seen the title, man. Halle Berry and David Justin. David Justice dated Halle Berry, man, in 1990 something. They was married. You know, Halle Berry was coming up in into the Halle Berry she is now, famous, continue to be beautiful, rich. You know what I'm saying? And I never knew about this guy right here. You know, I know about Eric Benet, and I know about the last two guys are two of her baby daddies. And I think the guy she dating now, I know about him or whatever, but I never knew about this guy right here. I was a little younger. But it seems David Justice, man, he went on the All the Smoke podcast with Matt Barnes, a former NBA player. Shout out to them, man. All the Smoke podcast. And he kind of let us some news that a lot of people didn't really know, and have some women very uproar on why he got divorced from Halle Berry. Interesting, man. Let's look at the podcast right quick and get my reaction. Let's go.
Obviously learning and transitioning, but what was it like having personal stuff public, such as relationships and stuff like that? How hard was that back then? Because again, if there's some bullshit out there, you just kind of have to go with it because there's no real filter or, opportunity for you to speak your piece.
So, I didn't really have any really real personal stuff until, Halle and I got together, you see. And of course, that was a lot of focus because back in them times, I can't think other than Joe DiMaggio and Marilyn Monroe. I can't think of anybody before that was us.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. I can't think of no one. Mm-hmm. And then Halle coming up young and being hot and just trying to make her career. And then you got me. And, it really wasn't a lot of negative attention until I decided to leave her in 1996. I remember Halle saying to me, hey, she asked me to marry her after knowing me for 5 months. And
wow.
Listen,
in today's society, man, nowadays, you don't never get nothing like that right there, that a woman proposed to a man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm very traditional myself, and I couldn't even let a woman propose to me. I couldn't accept that. You know what I'm saying? I'm traditional, and as a man, it's like it's my duty, it's my job, it'd be my honor to propose to the woman that I want to marry. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't, even though this is cute and stuff like that she loved him or whatever, but it's like I don't know, could I really accept a woman propose to me, which is crazy, man. But a little backstory is David Justice, man, he was a former Major League Baseball player. He was the height of his career. You know what I'm saying? Halle Berry was coming up. She wasn't a big movie star as she is now. You know what I'm saying? So I think he was the big star back then, more than Halle Berry. You know what I mean? And she proposed to this guy after 5 months of dating.
I said, okay, but because I couldn't say no.
Who's going to say no at that time?
And I said, okay, but I don't know if my heart was really into it.
Right.
But I didn't want to make her feel bad and say no, or like I was just in the moment. It caught me off guard. But I was like, cool, we getting along, we vibing. We're only 5 months in, we still in the honeymoon state. And then all of a sudden, that followed up. I met Halle in May of 1992. So you talking about, then we got married January 1st, 1993.
Damn.
Right. And, but we spent a lot of time apart because she was doing movies in this country, that country. And we honestly, we probably could have made it. If I knew about therapy, if we knew about therapy, we probably could have made it, because we never had any major issues like that. Mm-hmm. It's just that because I was young and had only been in, honestly, one real relationship before her, my knowledge and my understanding, my wisdom around relationships just wasn't vast. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at my mom, and I'm a Midwest guy. So in my mind, I'm thinking a wife at that time should cook, clean.
Traditional.
And then I'm thinking, okay, if we have kids, is this the woman I want to have kids with and build a family with? And at that time, as a young guy, she don't cook, don't clean, don't really seem like motherly. And then we start having issues. Listen, we never that. I'll say this.
So that small part right there, when he said that she couldn't cook, she couldn't clean, and none of that, you know what I'm saying? Well, don't cook, you know what I'm saying? That small part right there had a lot of women uproar, man, really mad at this guy right here because he's sharing his opinion, he's sharing his experience with Halle Berry, one of the beautiful women in the world at that time, and kind of still to this day, even though she's a little older. um he really She wasn't really motherly, you know what I'm saying? She wasn't really wifely, you know what I'm saying? That kind of make any sense that he's very traditional. And a lot of people in today's society, man, when they hear that right there, a lot of women online just saying like, what do you mean? This is Halle Berry, you know what I'm saying? One of the beautiful women in the world, richest woman in the world also, you know what I'm saying? Very talented, Oscar winning actress. You mean to tell me you divorced her because she couldn't cook, couldn't clean? Man, she out making movies, she's out making money, you know. But that's his experience, and that's what he kind of looked for, you know what I'm saying? He brought up his mother and stuff like that, that listen, man, she didn't cook, she didn't clean, you know. So it's like, at that time, man, that was his experience, and a lot of women, they didn't like that, you know. But let's play a little more, then I'll give my reaction.
We never had any issues about other women, other men. I mean, like, I was never tripping when. Well, I was tripping one time when she.
Hold on, I got one time I was tripping.
At one time, because I didn't understand it. When we were out to lunch in L.A. Now, my mom from Cincinnati, man. I ain't even in L.A. scene like that. And she see an actor that she worked with one time, and he came in, hey, kissed him on the lips.
Oh.
What are we doing around here?
Was he European or American? I'm confused.
American.
What the fuck is going on here?
Oh, so I know this is going to be a conversation. So we get home and I ask about that. Oh, that's what we do in L.A. Oh, okay then. So now her manager and I used to go to this restaurant all the time. I had a young lady at the front seat us all the time. We went there so much, she became so friendly. We got to hugging her every time we come in. Hey, how you doing? Just regular hug. Take Halle and his wife to lunch one time. I said, Halle, this is such and such. This is Halle, right? Halle looked at that girl, saw how fine she was. Man, she gave her one of them, like, barely touched her hand, right? Just played her crazy. I was embarrassed, bro. I was like, but wait, hold on. I just hugged the girl.
Right.
You kissed this dude, and you mad at me because I hugged the girl? So, but remember, we young. So, young, you get petty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You petty when you're young. There's things you just do that are petty when you're young. Well, anyway, the honeymoon stage was over, right? And now it's just David and Halle. And when it's just David and Halle, I just realized this is not the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. So, February 1996, I told her, hey, I can't do this no more. We don't have any kids. You said you wouldn't want any money from me because really she didn't have any money. I was the one who bought the house in LA. I was the one who had my house in Atlanta. I'm really footing everything. And I said, you said you didn't want any money, so we don't have any kids. We should just make a clean break. And she was like, no. No. And then all of a sudden, I find out I got all these women. I find out I'm doing all this other stuff. And so what she was doing is, see, I'm just an athlete. I don't have managers. I don't have this system behind me. You see, she got managers. She got all this kind of stuff.
She got the machine.
So you got the machine now coming against me. And I remember my mom saying to me, she was like, listen, baby, all the media want to do is see you two. You young black kids fighting with each other. She said, you just take the high road and let her say whatever she want to say, but I don't want you out here talking bad about that girl. My mama said this to me. I'm an only child, raised with just my mom. What my mom said was gospel. Right. So I said, okay, Mom, I won't salt her like that in public. I might talk a lot of junk to the boys, but I ain't gonna say nothing in public. And I didn't, man. I didn't. I just watched her say all this stuff about me, and I was like, and so crazy is the one thing that probably I would say hurt the most is Halle had a relationship with a gentleman who hit her on the side of the head, And so she lost some hearing. But she never made him public. And I'm not going to make him public because I ain't going to do him like that. I know who it is. But for people to think, oh, it had to be David Justice because the only person they associated her with was me. Now, she said it was a former boyfriend. I'm not a former boyfriend. I was her husband.
Right.
That's different.
Big difference.
But literally from 96 until even today, sometimes I'll see someone on social media. Well, he hit her in the head. And I'm like, oh, that's just a quick Google search.
Yeah.
Do a quick Google search. That girl ain't never said I hit her in the head. But one thing I didn't like is, but she let you think that.
Right.
She let the world think it.
That's tough.
She didn't come out and say, oh, no, it wasn't David. But I'm not going to say who it was, but it wasn't him. No, she let the world think that it was me. And that I never appreciated with her. I thought she was dead wrong for that. I thought she should have handled that better. And I always say it like this, man. If I was so bad, you would think she would keep my name out of her mouth. She would be so happy I left, right? If I was so bad as a husband, she'd be like, whoa, I'm so glad he left me, boy. Because it ain't like it was hard for her to find a next dude, right? She kept my name in her mouth because she wanted to be with me. She wanted us to work.
She was bitter, man. She was bitter and she was upset that you left her, that you wanted to leave her, you wanted to divorce her. You know what I'm saying? You didn't really want, I guess, they didn't have no kids, nothing like that. So she was kind of bitter, movie actress and stuff like that. She didn't want to have that bad rap of being divorced by this good looking guy, no homo, good looking guy who's rich also. You know what I'm saying? So she had to put something behind her. She's a movie actress, had to make it seem, I had more people feel pity for her. And that happens in today's society also. But there are some women, like I said, man, that was really upset about this guy here kind of coming out and giving his opinion, man. Let's check this out right quick.
Just asked Halle Berry, what do you bring to the table? And Halle said, I don't cook, I don't clean, but let me show you how I got this Oscar. And he said, nah, you can't be a mother to my kids. Talk about a clout chaser and riding coattails. You know, this man went on an interview just to go out of his way to make sure everybody knew that he left her back in 1996. You have no new news other than the fact that you dated somebody over 2 decades ago. You don't have nothing else to talk about? Before you get on your knees and thank God Almighty that you had the opportunity to be proposed to by someone like Halle Berry. First of all, that's called community service. She was writing you off on her taxes. And so you had to go and look at your mom and look at your sister and see everything that they were doing as women because they were cooking and cleaning. And that's what you thought you were supposed to have in a wife. So you decided that she wasn't good enough for you because she wasn't motherly. Guess who you should be with then? Your mother. It never fails that every single time a man, especially a black man, goes out of his way with his full chest to embarrass another black woman, he always ends up looking like a clown.
Wow. Listen, but there's more.
As a woman, when you date down, I've always said this, you will pay for it for the rest of your life. David Justice and Halle Berry got married in 1991, which is 33 years ago. And now they've been divorced for the past 25 years, but he's talking about her in an interview. And for all the men defending him, well, they asked him, you should know to not speak about your ex from 25 years ago. They asked him because he's not accomplished enough for him to talk about what he's doing, because he's not doing anything except riding his ex-wife's coattail. A married man sitting up there with a ring on his finger talking about his first wife. By the way, it's not you who chose to not have children with Halle Berry. Notice that all of her children are by white men. It's her who chose to not have children with you. She intentionally didn't get pregnant for you.
I mean, you basically saying that she just want to have kids by white men just to have biracial kids, which sounds crazy as it is coming out your mouth. Like, these women are wild, man. This is this guy that, yeah, he dated Halle Berry almost 30 years ago. They asked him the question, you know what I'm saying? He giving his experience, especially when, have a lot of people out here. And I even seen comments that some people say, isn't that the guy that hit Halle Berry? You know what I mean? I never even know about this guy right here, before I was real, real young or whatever, you know what I mean? So just like he said, it wasn't him that hit him. So I'm kind of glad that he kind of came out and really put this out there in the universe. Like, listen, hey, that wasn't me that hit her. You know what I mean? That was somebody else, but she never said anything because she was a bitter woman, in my opinion,
Halle Berry proposed to David Justice. Well, I'll tell you about that proposal and their whirlwind romance again, because this is I Will Tell You What. And every day this week, I'm going to be telling you about these women that propose to their respective husbands. So Halle Berry and David Justice's relationship was one that definitely defined Black celebrity marriage.
I mean, you can look at her, man. She was always a very, very beautiful woman. You know what I'm saying? Even to this day, like I say, she's a little older now, but she's still a beautiful woman, So having Halle Berry as a wife, man, was always a plus, you know what I'm saying? But as a man, like he said, she wasn't traditional. You know what I'm saying? She didn't cook or clean. So it really wasn't about her name. It really wasn't about her face, you know what I'm saying? Her body or whatever. It was like, I didn't really see her as a mother of my kid or a wife, and a lot of women saying they can't understand that.
Marriages of the 90s. For a moment, they were the picture perfect couple, but the reality, their marriage was as short-lived as it was intense. Halle and David's love story didn't start at a party or like a premiere or on the set of like some blockbuster film. No. Halle first spotted David the same way a lot of folks did, on TV. It was 1992 and Halle was watching an episode of Rock and Jock, a celebrity sports game, when David caught her eye. But Halle mentioned him to a friend, but decided not to make a move like sheep normally do. At least not right then and there. Later, a journalist interviewing her would casually mention that his friend, David Justice, wanted her autograph. Well, this was Halle's moment. Instead of just signing something for him, Halle passed over her number, like, call me. A bold move, but you know what? It worked. It sure did. David called her and they talked for hours. And 2 weeks later, he flew her out to Atlanta for their first official date. And just like that, they were locked in. David was preparing to propose to Halle on her birthday, August 14th. He said, quote, I knew when I first saw her that I was going to marry her. It was like I heard a voice. But he wouldn't get the chance to do so because she ended up proposing to him. Halle proposed to David. For what it's worth, he said, quote, I knew I was going to marry her, but before I could surprise her, she surprised me. Months later, they got married on New Year's Day, 1993. But just 3 years later, their marriage crashed out. The marriage ended in a highly publicized divorce in 1997. Halle later admitted that the pain of their split pushed her into one of the darkest times in her life. But they both found love again.
I mean, listen, that's their love story. You know what I'm saying? That's their love story. Halle Berry, like I say, man, she's a beautiful woman. But this guy, this is his story. You know what I'm saying? This is his truth. And some people don't like it, you know what I mean? But this is his truth, telling how it was to date a beautiful woman, one of the beautiful women that in the world, you know what I'm saying, especially back in the 90s and stuff like that, the 2000s, man, everybody wanted to be with Halle Berry, and come to find out, man, beauty wasn't the thing that really kept men around, you know what I'm saying? Because that was her first husband. She married twice and had 2 kids by 2 different dudes, not judging her, but I'm just saying she was married 3 times and now she has 2 different baby daddies. You know what I'm saying? So a beautiful woman like that, it didn't really let a man stay with her. You know what I'm saying? The men still left her, and Eric Benet, the guy that I first guy that I knew that I thought when I was younger, when I heard that he cheated on her, I thought this guy was crazy. You know what I'm saying? I thought this guy was crazy for cheating on Halle Berry because, like I say, man, growing up, I thought she was one of the beautiful women ever. You know what I'm saying? So how can you cheat on her? How can you cheat on one of the baddest women on earth, in my opinion, at that time? You know, when they cheated on her, I was like, wow. And a lot of women should really think like that also. Like, you know what? My beauty, my looks didn't kept him from cheating on me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if Eric Benet can cheat on Halle Berry, man, it ain't, you know what I'm saying? So, but in society nowadays, man, men gonna cheat, women gonna cheat also. So it ain't all about looks. And then you got a guy like David Justice, man. He divorced Halle Berry because she wasn't a wifey woman. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't see himself being with her long term, even raising his kids, you know. And that's what's going on in society nowadays also, that a lot of guys feel that way, that there's a lot of beautiful women out here in the world, but their brain ain't all that. Yeah, you got a nice body, you got a nice look, but when a guy talked to you for like 5 minutes, you dumb as a box of hammers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, so it's not even too new from the 90s to now to 2025, how men really thinking like, you know what, man, there's a lot of beautiful women out here, but these women ain't wifey material. What you see online, social media, man, Instagram and all these podcasts, women talking and stuff like that, they want a high figure guy, a 6 feet guy, you know what I'm saying? And these guys out here have many women and cheating on their women. So it's like, that's what you want right there. This is the guy you want, instead of the guy that really don't have that much money, but he's making money, maybe $100,000, maybe $60,000 to $100,000 a year. Good head on his shoulder. You know what I'm saying? He's not like a 6 feet, 7 feet tall guy, but he's like 6'1", you know what I'm saying? Handsome guy or whatever, but he's everything that a woman should need, not what a woman should want, you know? So this whole situation, man, I had to make a video because a lot of women was up in roar, man, over the situation right here. As you can see some of the videos I just played. But listen, that's all I got for now, man. Y'all tell me what y'all think of the whole situation, yo. Y'all think David Justice was stupid for divorcing Halle Berry, or he kind of made the right decision? Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments, man.